Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your back porch professor. I hope you're all having a wonderful New Year's Eve, but I can tell you who's not, and that's the whole of the Democrat Party and their once future voters, illegal migrants who are being deported literally by the millions as we speak. I want to start first with the latest Trafalgar poll that just came out. And the Trafalgar, as many of you know, has been one of the most accurate pollsters of the last decade. They just completed a nationwide survey of likely voters, not adults, not registered voters, likely voters, the people who actually decide elections, high propensity voters who vote in every election for the past several years. And here's what they found. Just over 50% of voters approve of President Trump's job performance. Only 44% disapprove. So that's a 6-point advantage in Trump's approval. And as we know, if you've been a follower of this channel for some time, and if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. But you'll know that Trump always underpolls his actual support. So for the last 3 elections in a row, Trump always outperforms his polls by at least about 3 or 4%. So the rule of thumb is take whatever poll you see and add 3 or 4 points to it. That's Trump's real approval rating. Now, of course, the legacy media, the very media that's doing everything they can to cover up the unprecedented fraud scandal that's blowing up the Democrats in Minnesota as we speak, that very same legacy media is lying to you about Trump's polls. They'll never, ever admit to their rapidly dwindling audiences that 3 or 4% polling discrepancy. They'll never admit it, but it doesn't matter because Trump is absolutely crushing it and he doesn't need the legacy media. And we ain't seen nothing yet. All indicators are pointing to an absolute economic boom in 2026. I mean, just look at the numbers. Mortgage rates have collapsed, putting home ownership back in reach for millions upon millions of Americans. Inflation is down to just 2.7%. That's literally bullseye with the Fed's target rate. Real GDP is at 4.3% last quarter. And here's the part that makes liberals lose sleep. The IRS is preparing to send out record tax refunds this spring. So we're talking billions going back into the pockets of working Americans right before the midterms. Meanwhile, the trade deficit is plummeting as Trump's tariff strategy reshapes global commerce. So those tariffs aren't just protecting American workers, they're actually generating billions in new federal revenue without raising taxes on anyone. It's a complete reversal of Biden's economic mismanagement. The legacy media won't tell you this, but they know it. Every economic metric that matters is pointing in one direction: growth, jobs, rising wages, lower prices. This is what America First economics actually looks like. And on top of all of that, we now have the official numbers on the mass deportation efforts that officially began back on January 20th. The Department of Homeland Security just released their year-end report, and the numbers are staggering. Since January, 1.9 million illegal aliens have self-deported. Let that sink in. Nearly 2 million illegal aliens have self-deported. Just to put that in perspective, that would be the equivalent of the entire population of the state of Nebraska disappearing. That's more than the populations of Wyoming, Vermont, and Alaska combined. And note, these aren't people that ICE has had to hunt down. These are people who got the message that America's borders are closed and they left on their own. But that's just the beginning, because ICE has simultaneously conducted the largest criminal alien deportation operation in American history, removing an additional 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal histories. So we're talking gang members, drug traffickers, violent offenders, people who should never have been here in the first place. And combined, we're now looking at 2.5 million illegal aliens removed in less than a year. Again, to put that in perspective, that's equivalent to erasing the entire population of cities like Chicago or Houston. This is not just a campaign promise kept. This is a literal restoration of American sovereignty on a scale nobody thought possible. And what we have to understand, of course, is that this is just the beginning. Trump hasn't even been president for a full year yet. Homeland Security is promising an even higher percentage of deportations in the coming year. Remember, the big, beautiful bill and related budget measures pour tens of billions of dollars into immigration enforcement, detention beds, and additional ICE and CBP personnel over multiple years, with large tranches specifically earmarked for enforcement and deportation operations all the way through 2029. I mean, that's the infrastructure that guarantees far more arrests and removals going forward, not less. The Trump administration plans to hire thousands upon thousands more agents, open new detention centers, and increase arrests out of local jails in 2026, such that by the midterms, many are projecting that at least a total of 5 million illegals will have been officially deported either voluntarily or involuntarily, which is half of the illegals that came in during the Biden debacle. And when you combine that with the mass purging of the voter rolls across the country, as well as just the extraordinary voter registration trends that all favor the GOP by overwhelming numbers, you can see why the Democrats are getting so desperate. They see their plans to take over our nation through importing voters and voter fraud, the extension of the unprecedented fraud that we're seeing in Minnesota. They're seeing those plans implode right before their very eyes. Now, this, of course, is not to say that we can be complacent and that winning the midterms is not going to be an uphill battle. I mean, historically, the party in power has increased its majority in the midterms only 3 times in our nation's history. But with the redistricting in red states, the voter registration trends, the purging of voter rolls, the mass deportations, and President Trump's poll numbers surging, and massive economic boom on the horizon, 2026 promises to be an amazing MAGA year, and I can't wait to spend each and every day of it with you. This is all just the beginning. Love you guys. God bless.